Hello. I don't want to be oversensitive about some of the comments. There are some trolls around. There are some people who vigorously take a different view to me, and I encourage that. Um, I don't like receiving comments that suggest I've said something when I haven't. There have been a few of those recently, and there are some which are just very slightly threatening. And having received some very nasty, stalky things today through the post, maybe I'm just a little oversensitive about this. Anyway, I'd like to bring up one. Shelley Lime 6402 says, and I'm talking about pool tables in the barge in Portland. Note, the Prof has admitted, somewhat carelessly it seems, in an earlier video that if illegal economic migrants are denied a pool table at their supplied accommodation, they are liable to go on the rampage threatening the local residents and committing crimes which will lead to their imprisonment. P.S. I made a particular note of the video just in case the Prof suddenly realised the actuality of what he'd said and deleted it. I haven't deleted anything. Someone else points out we've already copied it as evidence. So I've done a trawl and I found the relevant video, and I think I stand by exactly what I say. If the government wishes to house 500 men, young men, in accommodation and provide no form of diversion, no form of entertainment, then it is a pressure house. And what I worry is that this is a design to cause problems. Should a riot occur, should a disturbance occur, it will be blamed on the migrants. And we've seen this in the past. People who are utterly frustrated have nothing else to do. We've taken away their opportunity of employment. That seems absurd. We are the only country, I think, that stops migrants taking up employment for over a year. Other countries allow them employment quite early on. At least give these people something to do. And if they can't do a job, at least give them something to play with. All leisure activities apparently have been removed from this barge in Portland, in the same way as all forms of welcome have been removed from the centres in Kent on the orders of Robert Jenrick. Are the government ministers actually trying to force these migrants into a position where they rebel and get angry? Because that actually seems to be exactly what happened in Rwanda. In Rwanda, people were denied food, and they went on a march to get supplies, and they were shot. And the Rwandans haven't issued any sort of documentation to tell us that they've gone through a proper review of what happened, that they've investigated. This happened in 2018. And we still don't know the details. And so many people died, so many people were shot, and yet this government thinks that Rwanda is a safe country to send refugees. I don't. But equally, I'm beginning to wonder whether or not this country is a safe country to send refugees. And that makes me deeply ashamed. We're going to lock up 500 young men in a place with no recreational facilities. And we're going to think they're going to lie on their beds and chatter. This is a recipe for disaster. Anyway, just so that I'm very clear about what I said earlier, Here is the earlier video. The Suella Braverman camp, I think they have an idea that there is only one way to solve the migrant crisis, and that is to send a message to the international community to break international law, send migrants back to Europe, create a fuss, such a fuss that it dominates the headlines around the world and discourages people from coming here. I think they're wrong. I don't think such a fuss would make such headlines, first of all. I don't think the majority of refugees and migrants are reading those newspapers, and I don't think anybody will give a will give a rat's poison for that sort of nonsense. Instead, what we're going to have is enormous protests in Portland, Weymouth, RAF camps about, not in my backyard, basically. So at the moment in Dorset, we've got two competing marches, two competing protests. One, refugees welcome, please come. And the other one, sort of right-winger, not here, not here, not here. The problem with this barge that's going to house 500 young men, that was originally going to have a pool room. A pool room, I think of an American musical with the knickerbockers tied below the knee or above the knee. I can't remember what it is. And pool with a capital P. That rhymes with, yeah. Anyway, so I think without a pool room, without any form of entertainment, cramming in as many young men as the government possibly can, this is a recipe for frustration and anger, and these people are going to be running around the town getting arrested. In the end, basically, they're all going to end up being on charges and being in prison. I think this is designed to cause a problem, again, to send a signal. So I don't know what the Home Office is playing at. It might just as well be fanning a bonfire and sending smoke signals across the sky. It does nothing. None of this does anything. All they're trying to do is transfer the blame from them onto others, particularly the others. I think Suella Braverman would do well to listen to the Stranger's speech in Thomas More, the one speech written by Shakespeare in his own hand in the British Museum. And he points out, he's dealing with the riot, and he points out, you are now the strangers. You are now the strangers.